Hello friends, this is Terry from Genkigamingtv. We're here to talk about Yokai Watch Y Academy episode 33. Which, yeah, I actually know the episode number this time. Let's rebuild Y Lab with a yeah, Y no to, Y ken o, sai kin shiyu. This episode had some stuff going for it, but at the end of the day, it feels a little forgettable, and I'll get to that here momentarily. Just stick with me, and we'll get there. Uh, as some of these episodes recently, well, like the past 10, like our openings have either, like our opening transitional scenes have either opened with guns blazing or opened with a crawl. This one kinda opens with a crawl. We have the power couple of Kuka and Ronto. They're talking, and the big takeaway from this section is they want to get the gang back together. They want to get the lab rebuilt, so they went and talked to, can't remember this character's name because we were introduced to like 6 new characters in this episode. Heaven forbid, just introducing us to 1 or 2, but we were introduced to basically getting the science team back together. I'm trying to figure out who this is because I honestly don't remember. But we were introduced to the following characters: Hiroyuki Komori, Hiyori Usa, Takehiko Inoue, which I think he is the guy who turns into a werewolf, Kyoko Menu, Kurumi Menu, Max Kakidome, Meso Shirinda, Soichi Takeya, Hiro Nori Yokobun. Like, we were introduced to a lot of characters, so bear with me here, because it's not labeled who's who, but moral of the story is people are becoming doggos. There's no reason other than the power of the great and powerful Dober, aka KJ's favorite character, other than Emma. So, our gang, Sandiyu, Junpei, and Motaro, aka Best Boy, run into, is it Takehiko Inoue? And he's like, I keep turning into a beast, into a werewolf. And they're like, no, that can't be true. And they're all like in super duper denial mode, but then the great and powerful Fubuki shows up with a new type of burger, a Mogu Mogu burger. Surprise, surprise. Feral energy inspirits him, and he becomes a tiny little chihuahua, or a tiny little doggo of some sort. The doggo basically responded to the yolk of the egg as if it was the moon. I thought that was a okay touch. We got to see Kuka basically trying to get people together, basically saying Kumako is returning, or that Kumako wants to rebuild the lab. Then, of course, since we don't know what age group we're aiming at, we have a old perverted dog looking up a girl's skirt. Like, guys, the show needs to pick a age group. I mean, I guess it's Japan being Japan, but I don't know how they would get some stuff in the series to pass without just wiping certain sections out. I'm not saying they would wipe this one out, I'm just saying this is a situation where it's like, what's your demo? And even Fubuki is like, why is this even a thing? Or why? So, back to Team Kumako, they go down a dark alley and they find a new Nakama, but because of the power of the yellow of, I can't remember the character's name, but boom. Their new science team member is now a dog. And then Ronto shows up and talks to Junpei, Motaro, Sanryu, and Fubuki about what must be causing all of this to happen. He's like, it's probably that guy. You know, Dober. But he doesn't mention Dober's name, but he kind of infers it. And as everyone's walking, they are surrounded by dogs. But Ronto, being the smart boy that Ronto is, throws toys everywhere, and that solves that problem temporarily. Until they realize that the toys are no longer fun, and that everyone that was turned into a dog begins chasing them. So Ronto and company hide behind a wall, but Junpei farts, because why in the world wouldn't he fart? That causes the dogs that heard the fart to basically be destroyed. Okay, they smelt what was dealt, and they were deleted faster than a Pokemon hate video. So they decided, in order to defeat all of the dogs, or at least Junpei decided, that he would channel the spirit bomb of fart capacity. I had kind of hoped that he would have pooped himself at this point, because with all of these fart jokes, we're just one step closer to a Shirokuma moment. Yeah. So he unleashes the ultimate fart spirit bomb, which is a combination of words I never ever thought I would ever have to say. So plot continues, and Dober shows up, but Dober actually begins clashing with Junpei, or Kengo Benimaru, aka Sword Boy, aka one part of the holy trinity of melee, ranged, and magic. So with this being said, Ronto and company are trying to run away from the dogs to regroup in order to be able to actually help and resolve the situation. But Bakera is a scaredy cat, and after a powerful roar of Dober hides in the bushes, Goromi tried to help, but Goromi gets scared too. But you can't blame her. She is a tiny little yokai who doesn't really even know what a Onryo really is, because we're not dealing with Onryos, baby. We're dealing with an alien. But we don't even know if it's an alien or not. Like, we're calling Dober and Nayu. And what was his name again? Mikato? Is it Mikato? Wait, no, it's Mizera. We're calling them aliens. We're labeling them as aliens, but they in spirit. So, be that as it may, just everyone gets owned by Dober. Blue Moon gets owned. He is able to deep dive a little bit to see a tiny bit of the past. But Blue Pond gets his butt kicked. We get a lot that's actually going on here. I really have to say I do like Dober a lot. Dober actually stomps Junpei, and I was like, keep going, man. Keep going. Show us a fatality that would be prevented when Ronto basically pulls a Luffy Lol Doflamingo moment where Dofi is getting ready to stomp the living snot out of Lol, but then Luffy swings into action. I wanted a moment like that, but we did not get it, because Yokai Watch is basically doing Yokai Watch stuff. But Ronto basically gets Dober to leave by using the power of plot. Then the three Nekos, Aoi Neko, Akai Neko, and Kiloi Neko, aka Blue Pond, Bakera, and Goromi, talk about the ultimate evil, or what they consider the ultimate evil, which is their fusion. But here's the icing on the cake, or the silver lining. We get a new YY Academy lab! Isn't that fantastic, guys? This episode does have a lot going for it. don't think I'm being overly critical. As a reviewer, I do have to look at this from a certain perspective. I will say one thing I really actually liked was the sound quality has improved a bit. Animation has improved for certain people, like Dober's animations are top notch. Kingo like the couple little things that Kingo did were good. Animations that looked kind of clunky were like it wasn't the dog animations, if someone's gonna bring that up. It was actually a few of Junpei's animations that I noticed that were a little bit choppy, that may have looked like a little bit of them reusing animations. I'm not sure if they were actually doing that, but that might result in a tiny bit of choppiness when you're trying to edit something into a scene. But your normal run-of-the-mill viewer would not notice. So it's only something that those who are keen and able to, well, people who have experience creating content would notice. Like always, the pieces of plot that we got were pretty good. I won't say fantastic, but they were good enough that we do know that we're finally building to a climax and we're not transitioning into a silly baseball game. I want to thank you all for watching. I also want to apologize because I may not have responded to some people's comments yet. This week has been very busy, but I'll be responding to comments from out of nowhere, even old ones from earlier in the week or over last weekend. And I'll talk to you all later. Bye bye.